Good afternoon. I want to talk to everybody today about the differences between Neo Gas and Ethereum Gas. And if you are involved in cryptocurrency or you've been paying attention to the space, you have probably heard the terminology gas. And so at first sound, it can be very confusing, especially when normal individuals outside of the crypto space are used to hearing gas in the terminology of using fuel for their automobile. So I want to take a short video here and I want to explain the differences between Neo Gas and Ether Gas. My name is Corey Moore, aka Corey Stones. And so getting into the differences of Neo Gas versus Ethereum Gas, I think it's fair to explain the differences vaguely between Ethereum and Neo. Ethereum and Neo are two different tokens. They're referred to as asset tokens, and they are really decentralized platforms operating on their own separate blockchain. So Neo is a separate token than Ethereum. Now, Neo has recently changed their name, and they were operating under the different name as a previous project. We'll get more into exactly what Neo is in another video, but it's important for you to understand that Ethereum Gas and Neo Gas is two totally separate things. And when you're talking about Ethereum Gas is the amount of gas needed to pay for the execution of a smart contract. Smart contracts are what is being executed on the Ethereum platform. And when you execute that smart contract, there's a fee associated with it. That fee is called gas, and more specifically referred to as Ethereum gas. And so the more complex the smart contract is, the more gas that takes to execute that smart contract. If it's a simple smart contract, something as simple as just transferring token from one exchange to another or from one exchange to a wallet, for example, that is a very simple contract and would require and use less gas than a more complex contract. So Ethereum gas is really the amount of fees associated with executing the smart contracts on the EVM, which is also commonly referred to as the Ethereum virtual machine, or also commonly referred to as the Ethereum platform. Now, gas as it associates to Neo is completely separate. Neo is a very similar platform like Ethereum. It's actually built on the same principles as Ethereum. In a sense, it's a platform that allows for other applications to be developed on and work in conjunction with. So essentially, it's very similar to Ethereum. However, Neo is different and it is a different token. When you're talking about gas associated with Neo, you are talking about an entirely different token other than the Ethereum gas. Now, with Ethereum gas, you are paying gas, but it's still paid out in Ethereum. And you might say, well, why isn't the fee just charged in Ethereum? The reason for that is because they want the price of gas to be different than the price of Ethereum. So each smart contract will have a different amount of gas that it costs to execute that contract. And so that amount of gas is remaining steady because of decisions that the miners and nodes within the Ethereum network have decided on. So for example, if you have smart contract A, B, and C, A being the easiest, B being the middle, and C being the most complex of the smart contracts that are there, the contract A, B, and C will utilize a different amount of Ethereum gas to execute that contract. And it has a numerical connotation to it. So contract A might take 1 gas. Contract 2 might take 2 gas, or contract B. Contract 3, which would be contract C, might take 3 gas. And so the difference in the gas that's needed to execute the contract is associated with the level of difficulty to execute that contract. However, when you are paying the Ether gas, there is a numerical number associated with the difficulty level of the contract, but the actual gas is still paid out in Ether. And so it's important to understand the difference there. And the reason they set it up that way is because if the price of Ether goes up, doubles overnight, suddenly you had a smart contract yesterday costing one price, and the smart contract today costs double that price to execute. So in order to, remove the association between the price of Ether and the price of gas, the miners and the nodes within the network of Ethereum have decided on basically creating a system of fairness. So the more complex the contract is, the more gas it uses. The easier the contract is, the less gas that it uses. So hopefully that makes sense. When you're switching over to talk about gas in the definition of how it's applied for NEO, understand that it functions in the same way. NEO is a separate token from Ether, and NEO Gas is completely separate from Ethereum Gas. When I have a smart contract being executed on the NEO network, then that is being paid in NEO Gas. And there is actually a price associated with NEO Gas on CoinMarketCap that operates under the ticker GAS. So oddly enough and interestingly enough, when you visit coinmarketcap.com and you look at NEO and you click on the website, you're directed to the same website that you would be directed to if you went and looked at gas on CoinMarketCap and selected the link to be directed to the gas website. It's operating on the same platform. However, they are two separate tokens with two separate values. So as you might see the price of NEO increasing, the price of NEO Gas is subsequently usually going to increase as well. So the purpose of this video was really to be vague and really be general in the sense of cryptocurrency and explaining the differences between the Ether gas and the NEO gas, and understanding that there is a difference, and that when you are viewing the price of gas on CoinMarketCap, you are looking at NEO gas price, and that has no connection at all to the price of the Ethereum gas. So hopefully that you've understood this a little bit more, and if you're wanting some more technical details, I encourage you to visit the Ethereum website, which I'll leave a link in the video below. And then also pay attention to some more of our videos where we'll get into some specifics about how gas is calculated and how that execution of smart contracts is using gas to pay a fee, essentially, to do that. So my name is Corey Moore, aka Corey Stones. If you like what you've heard, if you like what you've seen, click subscribe, pay attention to the YouTube community. We'll be making a lot of new videos and new content soon. Have a great rest of your weekend.